There are not many pitchers with true no-hit stuff, the kind of arm that can produce a rash of 24-hour flu. The Rockies have such a man in Ubaldo Jimenez, as do the Giants in Tim Lincecum. They match up tonight. The majesty of the Golden Gate Bridge. The Rockies have made their way to the city by the bay. It is an absolutely perfect evening for baseball at AT&T Park. The Rockies and the Giants, they met 4 times last week in Colorado. The Rockies took 3 of 4, and tonight they will take on the Giants, who are 10 games over 500, and they know they have a 3-game lead in the wild card race against the Giants. They're 4 back from LA, but right now it's 4-1 Cincinnati over the Dodgers in the 9th inning in Ohio. So that could be very good news for both the Rockies and the San Francisco Giants. Good evening, everybody. Glad you're along. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, think back to last Sunday when Tim Lincecum went for the San Francisco Giants. Ubaldo Jimenez went for the Colorado Rockies. It was one of those Sunday specials from a bygone era. Carlton and Seaver, Gibson and Carlton, one of those kind of deals. And they lived up to both of their reputations. Well, tonight they meet again as I bring in George Frazier. It doesn't get any better than this. And Ubaldo's had the upper hand, believe it or not just last week, but every time these two have hooked up.
Yeah, it hasn't been many, but he has won those matchups every time he's gone against Tim Lincecum. And I think when you look at the numbers and you see exactly what the matchup produces, and this is in their last start at Coors Field, and this is something that was fun to watch, folks. Only 3 hits given up by Lincecum. He did walk 6 batters in that ball game. That drove the pitch count up. Ubaldo, masterful performance, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 118 innings pitched in the ball game. Well, what utilized and what I thought Ubaldo did a nice job because of the fastball and the velocity of it and the location of it. It made everything else better for him in the breaking ball when he needed to go to it. He got bad swings on breaking balls out of the strike zone because, folks, quite honest, you got to pull the trigger so fast when you're facing somebody like Ubaldo. It makes everything else that much better.
Well, Tim Lincecum was special, George. He kind of pitched backwards in his last outing. We talked a lot about it, but then we looked up in the 6th inning, Frazier. Rockies didn't have any hits.
Didn't have any hits yet. He walked a lot of people. There was traffic on bases, but all of a sudden you look up and you look at it and there's nothing up there. Zeros all the way across the board with this young kid. This kid can go get a strikeout when he needs to get the strikeout. That's the key to his success. He leads the National Leagues in strikeouts. The last guy to get over 260 at that time, 265 last year, was Randy Johnson, all the way back in 04.
2 highly motivated kids, 2 kids that have been very, very special already in their young careers. When we come back, we'll take a look back at the last 4 games these guys played. San Franciscans complaining about how warm it was today. The temperature had the audacity to get up into the mid-80s. It is a little bit warm for San Francisco.
It's very warm in San Francisco.
In August. We are glad to be here with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Let's flash back for a moment. That weekend set, the Rockies and the Giants began Friday night. The Rockies got in at 4 in the morning. Quite honestly, they played like it. They ended up losing the game 6-3. But the big story was Aaron Cook, George. Cook had to leave the ball game with a shoulder injury. Fortunately, not as serious as many people thought it may be.
No, it wasn't. And then he had to turn the corner over to Josh Fogg. And then when he came in relief, obviously some long balls started to happen in the ball game. They were the ones high-fiving at the end of that ball game.
Well, the next night, the Rockies also started slowly. Ryan Garko had a big ball game. He had a couple of home runs in the game. The Rockies in the 6th inning down 6-3 when Stewart came up and tied the game with a 3-run shot. And then that's a pretty picture.
And then a pretty picture, one you never get tired of watching either one of those guys, but for Todd Helton in the toss of the bat. And then it was the Rockies' turns to high-five in a 14-11 ball game.
Yeah, they had a 7-run 6th inning that night. The next night, Edgar Renteria hit a 2-run shot against Ubaldo Jimenez early. 2-1 late. Seth Smith, Mr. Late Night, or in this case, Mr. Late Afternoon, makes it 3-2 Colorado. The Rockies would hang on and win 4-2. Huge win. And then, of course, Monday, who will ever forget this? Who follows the Rockies? Sandoval got them started early. Helton ended up walking with the bases loaded. And it's a 1-1 game, George, to the 14th inning, and it didn't look good when Velez hit that triple.
Well, it really didn't look good at all. This ball got out into the gap, and that allowed a lot of runs to come in. I know the Giants felt at that point the ball game was over at that point, that they had come back and beat the Rockies, but there was a guy, number 19, that came up in a big, big way.
Yep, down 4-1 and then 4-2. Spilborghs hits the grand slam, a shot that Coloradans and folks in the Rocky Mountain region will never forget. I've never seen a regular season celebration like that. That was a celebration you normally see in the postseason. One thing that has continued, not only in the series against the Giants, George, but in the series against the Dodgers, the Rockies getting very little offense early in the game.
Very little offense into the game, but once you open the ball game up and get into the opposition's bullpens, things change. You saw the graphic of what the Rockies did after that. 22 runs after the 6th inning, the opposition just 8. It says an awful lot about their bullpen, but an awful lot about the Rockies' bullpen shutting it down and allow that offense to come back.
Yeah, quick update from Cincinnati. We're all big Reds fans tonight. It's 4-1 in the 9th inning, as we reported a moment ago. But guess what? The Dodgers have the bases loaded. There are 2 outs. Come on, Reds. We'll come back. We'll get you ready for this one. Rockies and Giants. Bay Bridge off in the distance. We're a few minutes away from the first pitch tonight. The Rockies and the San Francisco Giants. And we can't give you any further update on the Reds because the Dodgers actually, well, I guess we can. The Dodgers scored a run on a pass ball. The base is still loaded, 4-2. Let's give you an injury update right now. A couple of key players for the Rockies are down. Dexter Fowler is down and Carlos Gonzalez down. First Fowler, George, goes down Monday. We see this from time to time, a guy getting fairly seriously hurt, fouling a ball off the leg.
Well, understand something. I mean, the ball's coming in at 90, 92 miles an hour, and then you're topping that, and it's going right off the bone. So, I mean, that's the injury part of it. A deep bruise on Dexter Fowler. You're trying to get that fixed and get it going. And Gonzalez, yesterday's ball game, came in on a dive on the baseball. And, I mean, this is instincts of a good baseball player. Thinks they can catch everything in the outfield. Not his glove hand, but his left thumb. And it swelled up immediately. They came into the dugout. They took him out of a ball game because there was no field to throw the baseball. So, you know, when you have that situation, you're playing center field. Obviously, you've got to have the ability to do just that.
Yeah, and Keith Duggar talked about it, the head trainer, earlier today, and he said, listen, it's a day-to-day situation. You could see him tonight in a pitch running capacity. Dexter Fowler, they're working hard on getting him healthy. Hopefully he'll be back as soon as his DL stint is over. We are set for baseball. Tim Lincecum for the Giants, Ubaldo Jimenez for the Rockies. Come on back to San Francisco with us. And Eric Young steps into the batter's box. His first matchup ever with the reigning Cy Young winner in the National League, Tim Lincecum. Here we go. And the fastball over the outside corner for a strike. George talked about it a short while ago. Tim Lincecum is almost unbeatable at AT&T Park, a 7-1 record.
He does have that 7-1 record, and more importantly, he doesn't walk people here. He doesn't give up the long ball here. In his career versus the Rockies, 3-3 overall and 9 starts, 54 innings. So you do the arithmetic, about 6 innings per start. Importantly, that he's struck out 62.
You know, I thought Eric Young Jr. may try to bunt against Lincecum for one main reason. Well, 2 main reasons. It's not a bad play. And secondly, make Pablo Sandoval, who sat out the last 4 days with a calf injury as Young goes down, make him move, George.
Well, make him move, but the other thing you got to remember an awful lot about him is Lincecum is some kind of an athlete. So, you know, defensively, he's going to get off the mound, but at least give it a test at third.
Seth Smith will be in the 2-hole. He has hit Lincecum well. You know that. Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki, Brad Hopp, and maybe to help out Brad Hopp a little bit, Chris Iannetta, who's 6 for 10 against Lincecum, hitting as high in the lineup as we have seen in a long time. And then it's Stuart Barmas and Jimenez. And the first pitch to Smith is out of the zone. Ball 1 on Seth. He got a start yesterday, went 1 for 4, and had an RBI triple. Actually 1 for 5 in the ball game yesterday. Jeff looks back at Marty Foster. He thought that was out of the zone. It's 1-1.
I agree with him, because if he's going to get the high fastball like that, I mean, that curveball that high into the strike zone, I mean, obviously you see a ball spinning, you're going to lay off if it comes in about chest high. Big hook, tighter hook, more velocity. Smith couldn't hold off of it. Start this pitch out after seeing a slow looper. Now you add a little bit of velocity to it. Just snap it at the front side of that thing, so put it in the right spot.
2-2. It is a final now, 4-2. The Reds hang on, and they beat the LA Dodgers. So that is good news for both the Rockies and the Giants. So the Rockies 3.5 back right now. This is fouled off down the left field line and out of play. I can't recall a game that started here in the city by the bay at 7:15 with the temperature at 75 degrees, but that's the case tonight. And Lincecum has struck out Smith after the strikeout to Young.
Something a little different. The strikeout on Young. Fastball up out of the zone. Smith, 3 out of 4 pitches, breaking balls that he swung and missed on the final one. As we look at the Fidelity scouting report on Mr. Lincecum from the other day, it's not changed, 89-93. That's the one exception for me. The fastball will touch 95, but he's comfortable in that 89-93 with movement, curve, hard slider, and the changeup, 74-86. For him. The other day, Drew, we noticed that when he pitched against the Rockies, he pitched backwards. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of changeups, split fingers, and then went to the fastball late in counts.
Now, already in this first inning, he's thrown more fastballs than I think we saw in the first 3 innings of the ball game in Denver. Helton yesterday 1 for 3 and a walk. And the 2-0 is in there. It's 2-1. Rockies have gotten off to slow starts. Their last 4 wins have all been comeback wins, come from behind wins. They have 28 of those this year, which is a very nice stat, but you'd like to play with the lead once in a while. Here's the 3-1, and Todd bounces it to second, and Tim Lincecum enjoys a fine first inning. 1, 2, 3, including a couple of punch outs. We'll see Ubaldo Jimenez next. Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by E470 and Express Toll, the best way to save time and money. By Quest, get 2 free gigs of online backup with Quest high-speed internet. And by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Well, Tim Lincecum held up his end of the bargain in the top of the first inning. Ubaldo Jimenez facing Bruce Bochy's Giants after the Rockies took 3 of 4 from San Francisco just a few days ago. You have to give the Giants credit after that heartbreaking, and I mean heartbreaking, 6-4 loss in 14. Where after Velez had tripled, they added another run. They're up 4-1 going to the bottom of the 14th. You talk about a quiet flight, I'm sure, back to the Bay Area. The Giants took 2 of 3 from Arizona. Now, they got hammered yesterday 11-0, but they bounced back pretty nicely.
Yeah, they did bounce back, and they played better baseball, and that's what this team has been able to do. But it all surrounds the pitching side of things. That's obvious. You know, if they pitch well, their bullpen operates well. The bullpen did not do a good job at Coors Field.
We've been told our radar gun, the in-house gun, the one that we're tied to, is down right now. Well, suffice it to say they're both throwing hard.
Let me put it down. There's a base hit up the middle. Let me tell you a little story about that. I'll tell that story in a minute once you finish the Giant lineup.
All right, Velez an 0-2 single. Edgar Renteria, who hit a 2-run home run in the first inning against Jimenez a few days back, will be in the 2-hole. Then Randy Wynn. Pablo Sandoval has not started since straining his calf a few days ago. He's back in there. Travis Ishikawa, Juan Uribe, Aaron Rowan, Eli Whiteside for the injured Benji Molina, and Tim Lincecum. Molina has a quad injury, and we may not see him behind the plate all weekend.
Yeah, let me tell you about the radar gun incident. Tim Lincecum thought that at Coors Field the other day that his the radar gun was short velocity-wise. He was very disappointed by it. And he thought that it, he kept looking up, seeing 89, 91, 92, and he knew he was throwing the ball harder. Sometimes you would see a 95. So they've just taken the radar gun out the in-house here, and they're not going to show a velocity up on the in-house gun.
There goes Velez, and the throw is low, and Velez is in there safely. This has been a problem for the Rockies batteries all year, and it's not just the catcher. For whatever reason, George, the Rockies have a very low percentage of throwing runners out.
Well, early on, I think the one thing you got to do as a pitcher, you know you got speed at first base, and they're going to apply pressure to Ubaldo and Iannetta any way that they can. So you got to pick, hold, try to do different things with the baseball. Iannetta this year, 13 of 56, make that 13 of 57, 23%. Don't lay it all on Chris Iannetta. Pitchers are a big part of why guys steal bases on a catcher.
And Ubaldo falls behind Renteria 3-0. Another trend the Rockies would like to end is giving up first inning runs. 4 straight games, the opposition scored in the first, and the Rockies have been playing uphill. So Renteria walks, there's 2 on, and nobody out for Randy Wynn.
As we look at the Fidelity scouting report on Ubaldo Jimenez for the start here at AT&T Ballpark. Fastball 92-98. It's going to be a riding fastball. He typically has very good command inside the strike zone. Didn't display it there. Hard biting 12-6. Curveball 78-84. And an explosive slider with a down move it up to 91 miles an hour. Circle, split, change. 2 different changes. And he'll decide as he warms up prior to a ball game which changeup he has best command of. And he'll use that in the game.
You know, this may sound crazy, George. I know it's the first inning, and I know you're talking about Randy Wynn in the 3-hole. It would not shock me to see him bunt.
Well, Randy Wynn's not your typical, I should say, 3-hole hitter. 46 RBIs.
And there he is, squaring around. There's the bunt. Good job by Stewart. I mean, there are not many teams would do that, but you know you're not going to get a lot of opportunities against Jimenez. You're right. Wynn is not your typical 3-hole hitter, and they lay down the bunt.
Remember one thing, with Molina out of the lineup, Sandoval becomes your 4-hole hitter. So now he's going to come to the plate with 73 RBIs, and he's going to be the guy to try to get a run across the board by making contact, because there's very good speed now at third base in Velez, and above average speed with Renteria out at second base. Why not? You know what? I'd walk him too. It's early in the ball game. You want to bunt? We'll walk him. He's the guy. 73 RBIs. The next highest is down at the bottom, Aaron Rowan, who's hitting 7th in the lineup with 53 RBIs.
Plus, he has an average of a little better than 300 in his matchups against Ubaldo Jimenez.
Smart move.
But when you have 2 guys with the ability of Jimenez and Lincecum, managers treat the first inning more like they would the 6th or 7th inning in a normal baseball game.
Well, you know what, Drew, when you're in this type of situation and you got a chance to take a knockout punch, and this is not a knockout, but a base hit's going to score 2. So if you have that chance, you've got to take it when it's presented.
Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. Smith's in left field. Eric Young Jr. again in center. Brad Hopp naturally in right. Stewart, Tulowitzki, Barmes, Helton in the infield. Iannetta doing the catching. The Travis Ishikawa comes up. 262 average for Ishikawa. He has been far better at home than he's been out on the road offensively, hitting .350 on the shores of McCovey Cove versus .163 out on the road.
Grounded into 7 double plays this year. This will be popped up in the infield.
This is exactly what you wanted. 1 pitch, 1 out, nobody can move. Infield fly rule was called. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Uribe. Uribe at second base tonight. Never faced Jimenez. 3 for his last 23 at the plate. Runners in scoring position, not real good, 167.
Bails on the ball, comes to the inner half of the fastball. That's a pitch that he can typically handle, but not when it's 98 miles an hour. We've got a gun working now somewhere. Mike Fox, the producer, must have secretly ran down there and threw a gun in. But it's not on the board out in the stadium.
Bases full of Giants. The Rockies didn't score against Lincecum in their half of the first. They went 1, 2, 3, including a couple of punch-outs. Here's the 1-1, and that was a slider. Uribe didn't offer at it. They check it out at first with Wally Bell. He agrees with home plate umpire Marty Foster. Velez singled, he's at third. Renteria walked, he is at second. And at first base after an intentional pass is Kung Fu Panda, Pablo Sandoval. On the ground, weakly to short. And a nice play by Tulowitzki. So the Giants leave him loaded. Jimenez works out of a jam. No scores. We go to the second. We go to the top of the second inning. Troy Tulowitzki will lead off for Jim Tracy's club. Here's the defenders for the Giants. Eugenio Velez is in left. Aaron Rowan in center. Randy Wynn in right. Sandoval, Renteria left side. Uribe Ishikawa on the right side. Eli Whiteside again for an injured Benji Molina behind the plate. Molina is so quick, glove to hand in the throwing game. If the Rockies can get some of their speed guys on, that's tough against a guy like Lincecum. Maybe a little bit more of a running opportunity against Whiteside.
Remember the start just a week ago with Lincecum. About the fourth inning, he went to stretch only because he felt so uncomfortable on the mound, just felt out of rhythm. So he minimized the body movement to get better control of the fastball, better control of his body. Here he has been in the windup so far in the ball game.
Well, Tulowitzki, a kid who grew up in the Bay Area, fouls off the 2-0 pitch. He is always a popular interview subject when the Rockies come to town. Off the end of the bat with a lot of English on it, but it stays in foul ground.
I'll tell you what a great shot this is. Exactly. So you look at what a hitter's seeing. A ball that's starting at chest high, and I mean, it's a very hard thrown curveball, and all of a sudden the bottom just drops out of it with a tight rotation over the top. That's what he likes to do, try to get you chase the ball down in the dirt on a 2-2 count. Tulowitzki laid off of it, read it out of the hand well.
Here's a good look at Whiteside. Backing up Molina. It's like the old Maytag repairman, though. You don't get a lot of reps. Well, Molina plays every day when he's healthy.
They've had a lot of guys that have been around trying to back up. Steve Holm has been up here for a little while. There's a fastball in on the knuckles. He's been around. That didn't work out. They sent him back down. They brought this kid up, and I say kid. He's been at AAA the last 3 or 4 years with the Giants. Talked to Tommy Runnels, had a very good scouting report on him from his days of managing in Colorado Springs.
You know, there's a couple of spots, George, that if you have ability, you could stick around a long time, even though you're not a star level player. If you can catch and throw, and if you're a left-handed reliever. Inside, ball 4, so a leadoff walk in the second to Tulowitzki.
I'll add one more to that, and that is going to be a utility infielder that can catch it and go and play defense late in games a lot of times. The key to all those guys is keep your mouth shut, be happy you're in the big leagues, you'll get 8 or 9 years. Let's look at the Byrd Automotive keys in this ball game tonight. I think the one thing, the confidence the Rockies will bring in this ball game against Lincecum. That's the one big thing for me, because they have beat him 3 times more than any other team in baseball. Ubaldo Jimenez, make it a 6-inning ball game the way this bullpen has performed for the Rockies.
A breaking ball, a strike to Brad Hawk. Pitchers know, George, and you can expound on this, they know the guys that have hurt them. So Lincecum, when he glances over, if he's in a situation and he notices, all right, I got Hop at the plate, that's a tough assignment. Oh, no, Ionetta's hitting behind Hop. They're aware of that.
Well, absolutely, you're aware of what you're going to do. You have that game plan to go out. The guys that can master the game of baseball, and he's done that, they don't care who's in the lineup unless it sticks out the way it does with Chris Iannetta.
And that's why Iannetta tonight, with his 6 for 10 against Lincecum, is hitting behind Brad Hopp. Tulowitzki has 16 stolen bases at first, not going, and that's high, 2-1. That's a strike, 2-2. If the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. You get 4 tacos for $1. Always check stores for details. 2-2 on Hopp. Tulowitzki at first, no score. Giants threatened. They had the bases loaded, 1 out in the first. Jimenez turned them away, 3-2. Lincecum in his last 4 starts, 0-1 with a 3.77 ERA. He hasn't won since August 1st, but it's not like he's been bad. The league during those 4 starts still hitting just 186 against him.
Well, again, when you lose a lot of games 2-1, 3-2, you're not going to have a big number against you. You're not going to have a lot of runs scored.
Tulo going, strike 3, throw to second, he's out. Strike him out, throw him out.
Now the young catcher behind the plate for the Giants. Whiteside's going to get a baseball with some velocity behind it. Called strikeout, the perfect throw on a button to Renteria, and the tag applied. Tulowitzki did not agree with this call at all. Let's take another look at it. Did the hand get in? Because he tagged him way up on the elbow, called out emphatically by Chad Fairchild.
So 2 outs, nobody on for Iannetta. That's a strike at the knees. Yeah, George Lincecum may have been complaining about the gun and thinking that the Rockies somehow were altering the gun when Lincecum was on the hill and not doing it when Jimenez was on the hill. That's ludicrous to begin with. But secondly, talking to some Rockies hitters, and they have the utmost respect for Lincecum. That's 94. They felt when he threw his fastball the other day, for the most part, he wasn't throwing as hard as he had in times past. That's not to say they felt he wasn't effective. They just said they didn't feel like he was throwing as hard.
Not as explosive. They talk about explosiveness where the ball gets on you in a hurry. Well, Dave Righetti talked about it. This kid has really assumed the role as the guy after winning the National League Cy Young Award. So Righetti's tried to help him. Righetti in his own right was a very prominent, very good. Had a lot of pressure on him to succeed when he came to the big leagues. He's out of this area to work with Lincecum on how to accept that pressure and to really kind of divide your time where it needs to be. And he felt like Lincecum has done this, and he said, you know, he's yet to have a tired arm period during the regular season. Maybe it's finally starting to catch up where he's still getting out, still winning games, but velocity not up where it once was.
Ball 4. That's the other part of the equation with Iannetta. He draws walks against Lincecum. I think that's his 7th walk in their matchups. Rockies fans, go to FSNinsider.com. Check out the Douglas County Water Pick'em. Pick a team to win and see how long your streak can go. And one of the options tonight is who will win this game, naturally. Ian Stewart at the plate. Outside on Stewart. Stewart, an identical average to Chris Iannetta, 222 coming in. And both of these guys much better hitters than that. But you know what? Sometimes in a season, when you get to this point, you got to erase what you've done the first 4.5, 5 months and say, hey, what am I going to do the next 5, 6 weeks?
Well, and the thing is, you look at what their numbers are outside of the average. 14-49 for Chris Iannetta, 19-59 for Stewart, and even Clint Parma sitting in the 8-hole tonight, 21-67. Look at the opposition and what they have. And you look at what they've done power-wise, RBI-wise. That average will jump back up. And again, it's a day-to-day thing. You know what? If he hits 300 the rest of the season for 6 weeks, everybody's going to be happy.
1-2 on Stewart, and he's gone. Strikeout number 4 for Lincecum. He walked 2 in the inning. The Rockies could not capitalize. Mid-2, no score.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest. The reason being, Ubaldo Jimenez is really a gentle giant, especially with his unbelievable stuff. Now, his stuff speaks volumes, but he does it with a grace on the mound. He said when he knows it's time to take the ball, he goes out there with aggression, but it's a quiet aggression, just happens to be at 99 miles an hour, guys. I just thought that was a cute reference. And also one other note not related to Ubaldo Jimenez. One of the fans here told Jim Tracy, hey, did you see... I'll let you take it. I'll finish that later.
All right, you can keep talking. You got hit by a pitch. Go ahead.
I can't say it. I'm a monitor. Jim Tracy was told, hey, did you see the Dodgers score? And Jim Tracy said it doesn't make any difference because if we don't take care of business tonight, it doesn't affect us one way or the other. That's Jim Tracy for you. Win this game. Don't worry about anything else, guys.
You can't. You got to worry about what you're doing, and obviously you're pleased when the team that you're chasing loses. Here's the pitch by Jimenez that got away.
Boy, that ball caught him right up on the back of the shoulder, 95 miles an hour, and able to take it and roll with it, got off of it. Bounced right back up and goes to first base. Pitching in, not allowing to extend. Unfortunately, that got away with him a little bit.
Eli Whiteside at the plate. Whiteside has never faced Jimenez. This is his 4th straight start behind the plate. And he takes ball 1. Bruce Bochy demonstrated in the last series that he would be aggressive when he got anybody on base with a degree of speed. Rowan not a flyer by any stretch, but he's a guy you got to respect.
Hit and ran 4 times in that last series in Denver. He'll put bodies in motion to open up holes defensively. It allows the opportunity, obviously. Bochy kind of managed a little bit the way Lou Piniella manages at times with the bottom half of the lineup, and that is put men in motion and try to put on the hit and run and find a hole.
The hit and run wasn't on, but a base hit for Whiteside. And here we go again. The Dodgers. I still have them on my mind. The Giants with something cooking in the 2nd inning after loading the bases in the 1st inning.
And Lincecum, a very good punter, a guy that can handle the bat, 163 overall average. Bochy 1st and 2nd now, nobody out. Fastball down and away on the outside corner, but a ball shot through the right side.
And you're going to have the same situation you dealt with last inning. 2 men on to lead it off. And you're going to get a bunt attempt, 3 of them, in fact, from Lincecum, depending on if he's successful on the first 2. Randy Wynn bunted successfully out of the 3-hole.
Well, the thing is, the other day they talked about trying to bunt the baseball off of Jimenez or off of a guy like Lincecum. Anytime the ball gets above 95, trying to bunt that baseball and get the ball down, it's very difficult to do.
chance for the force, and they get it. Throw to first, and a good play by Barmas to come off the bag. As Stewart's throw had a little bit of tail on it. Ubaldo Jimenez, George, of all the Rockies starters, is least afraid to cut it loose and throw.
Well, you can't be scared to throw the baseball. You got to be able to catch it and go with it. And he listen to his catcher, Chris Iannetta. He is the general behind the plate on bunt plays, and will tell him where to go with the baseball. Able to backhand the strong throw over. Now, for me with Stewart, I would like to have seen a little bit of a crow hop before he threw that baseball, because obviously think of the ramifications if it goes wide of Barmas down the right field line.
This will bring up Velez, who hit an 0-2 fastball up the middle for a single. At second base, Eli Whiteside. And you have Lincecum at first, 1 out. That's a strike. Jimenez in his first 25 pitches, 12 out of the zone, 13 in. So he is struggling a little bit with command, though keep in mind he had an intentional walk mixed in there. That was in the same spot he was with Velez in the first at-bat for age 0-2.
Well, fastball, he threw a curveball first, swing and a miss, check swing, and then this good hard fastball that he's late on. And then he brought a ball that caught too much of the middle of the plate. Young kid's very talented at the plate, but he does play out of control, sometimes swings out of control.
The base
at home plate.
The base hit that you're talking about came on a fastball. And he went to the breaking ball. 1-2. Renteria's on deck. Ubaldo saying before tonight's game, he goes, I love a challenge. He was excited about another matchup with the Giants and Lincecum. 1-2, and that's out in front of the plate. Iannetta's going to have to hustle on the move. He gets his man.
And also Todd Helton's yelling, cover the plate, cover the plate. Ubaldo fell asleep for just a minute with the runner at third base. Iannetta went far enough up the line. If the third baseman, the third base runner would have come down the line at the time, meaning Whiteside, you would have been in a foot race. Ubaldo's got to come to the home plate area and cover. There's another replay. Now watch where this ball comes out in front of it, and Jimenez is going to stand and watch just for a few seconds. That opened it up, and then Helton very alertly looked. And that's when you saw that Stewart came in from third base, and also along with Jimenez from the mound.
2 outs, Renteria at the plate. He walked his first time up. There are 2 Giants in scoring position. They left the bases loaded in the first. .97 miles an hour, a swing and a miss. Renteria's home run against Jimenez ended a string of more than 300 at-bats between home runs. His previous home run came in late April. Here's the 0-1. 1-1. Ubaldo at 12-9 with a .336 ERA. A 5-0 mark in August.
See, thinking about what the way Ubaldo was going at it. Fastball inner half the plate, swing and a miss. Slider down and away, hoping to get him to bite at it. He did not. Well, he revisited that area with some heat up into the strike zone, and Renteria, being a veteran, laid off of him.
Right-handed bats hitting a whopping .202 against Ubaldo. Trying to retire Renteria here with 2 in scoring position. That's a strike. 2-2.
See where Inez is setting up with the pitch. A little bit up, a little bit in, but called a strike by home plate umpire Marty Foster. His strike zone's been a little bit up, a little bit wide all night long.
Here's the 2-2. So he's gone full on Renteria. If he were to lose Renteria, Randy Wynn is next. Got him with a slider. Renteria checking with home plate umpire Marty Foster, wondering if he swung a strike. He most definitely did. So again, Jimenez works out of a traffic jam. We go to the third. Today's E470 Road Ahead brought to you by E470 and Express Toll, the best way to save time and money. Well, the Rockies played 2 against the Giants over the weekend after tonight, and then it's an off day Monday, and then they begin a 10-game homestand with the Mets, the Diamondbacks, and the Cincinnati Reds, who all have one thing in common. They are under 500, so hopefully if the Rockies play well, a chance to win more than they lose. Rockies on a 4-3 homestand. I like what Jim Tracy said. You know, it's disappointing to lose to the Dodgers yesterday, and he ended up going 1-2 against Los Angeles. But you played 7 games against 2 high-quality opponents, and you end up winning more than you lost.
Well, turn it into a positive. Don't turn it into a negative. That goes on an awful lot. Here's a little tapper off the breaking ball to Lincecum. He'll fire it over to Ishikawa for the first out. You know, to me, that's one of the biggest things I like about Jim Tracy is he turns so many negatives that people want to bring up about his ball club or a certain ball game. And the one thing that he does very well, he forgets what happened yesterday and worries about tomorrow. You know, and when he wins the ball game, he enjoys it. When he loses a game, he tries to forget it and just move forward with what's going on. Turn everything into a positive, not a negative.
Jimenez bounces out. That'll bring up Eric Young Jr., who struck out his first time against Tim Lincecum, and we talked to him before the ball game about matching up with the Cy Young winner.
You see him on TV and everything, and you know, see what kind of stuff he has. But you know, again, I'm the hitter like anybody else, and you know, he's a pitcher trying to do what he has to do, and I got to make him throw strikes. And you know, can't chase you know, all his other stuff when it's in the dirt, out of strike zone. If I think I get him in the strike zone, you know, I can put the ball in play and make things happen.
Yeah, he tried to bunt. We talked about that in his first at bat. Pablo Sandoval has a calf injury, and Sandoval, even with 1 strike, didn't back up all that much. He's still in 15 feet inside the bag. And a bouncing ball up the middle for a hit. So that's the Rockies' first knock against Lincecum. And this will be interesting to watch because EY, as we have discussed, has explosive speed as he bounces this one up the middle, George. But this is the first time he's going to be on base against a right-handed pitcher.
Well, this time, too. I mean, when the ball was thrown by Lincecum, he falls off to the first base side. So in doing so, it allowed this ball to get back up the middle. He tried to barehand it. Lincecum, a very athletic, very quick move to first base. Try to draw some throws. And what I mean by drawing a throw, get a big lead, knowing you're going back to the bag to watch his quick footwork so you get an idea of what he does.
May change Seth Smith's approach just a little bit, give him an opportunity to run. That pitch misses. Young is 0 for 2 in the stolen base department. Both times he was caught. One time he was picked off. The other time he had to stop midway and was caught, but against lefties. 2-0.
On the other side of that, Whiteside's already shown a very accurate, a very strong arm. For Tulowitzki trying to steal the base earlier. That was on a swing and miss strikeout throwout, or a called third strike, I guess, and then the throw down to second base. 2 outs, 2-1 count, kind of an emotion type count right now to put somebody on the move.
There he goes, and it's hit to third, knocked down by Sandoval, and he throws out Smith. So the Rockies got their first hit. That's all. We'll go to the bottom of the third. No score in the city by the bay. Randy Wynn will lead it off. 3, 4, and 5 for the Giants in the bottom of the third inning. It was interesting today, George, in the San Francisco Examiner. We're talking about the 11-0 game. Say the Examiner, San Francisco Chronicle. They're talking about the 11-0 loss yesterday for the Giants, which matched their biggest shutout loss since AT&T Park opened in 2000. San Diego one ball game beat them by that same score. But they were still referencing the 6-4 Spilborgh's walk-off grand slam. It's like lingering.
Well, it just doesn't go away, particularly when a club has to turn around and come right back at it again. Ubaldo will get off the mound to flip to help to make the out. You know, whenever you lose a ball game like that, a lot of times you don't see that club for, 4 or 5, sometimes weeks at a time, and all of a sudden they pop back up again. It's there, it's refreshed, and there's only one side that doesn't really want to hear anything about it.
Pablo Sandoval steps up. Rockies passed on him with runners at second and third his first time.
By the way, in that Dodger ball game, Homer Bailey worked the deepest he had in the ball game, 8 innings pitched. Chad Billingsley, 6 innings or less since the All-Star break, 9 consecutive starts.
Swung on and fouled off. That ball game ended, George, bases loaded, 4-2. Dodgers within a base hit of tying it up. Manny Ramirez at the plate, a called strike 3. Here's the 0-1 on Sandoval. Breaking ball and another comeback. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Travis Ishikawa. Let's take a look at our Excel Energy fun fact. 6 innings or more consecutive starts. How about Ubaldo Jimenez, 22 in a row. Adam Wainwright, 25 in a row, is #1 in baseball. Then Herron at 19, Josh Beckett of the Red Sox at 18, and Lincecum 17. I mean, it's a night off for the pen when that group's out on the hill. And the breaking ball inside, ball 1 on Ishikawa. When you talk about a #1, you talk about a guy who the ball club believes every time he goes out there, the other team's got a little chance of winning. That's Ubaldo Jimenez. You talk about a guy that's going to pitch 215+ innings, that sort of thing. That's Ubaldo Jimenez. You talk about a guy that when there's traffic, George, can get the punch out. That's Ubaldo Jimenez. He really is growing into a #1.
Well, and everything else that goes along with it. The leadership aspect of it in the dugout, the early running in the mornings, the preparation that he has for his starts against the opposition, the studying of the box scores, who's hot, who's not hot. I mean, it's a lot of things that he does that doesn't just end up in a box score that makes him what he is.
Took something off on the 2-1. It's 3-1. Two outs, nobody on, looking for a quick inning, and that'll help. 3-2.
Well, Manny Ramirez has really struggled. Think about this: 1 home run, 5 RBIs in his last 78 at bats. People aren't pitching to him. He's not swinging it when they do pitch to him.
2 outs. Here's the 3-2 to Ishikawa, and he has gone on a splitter. See ya later. Second punch out for Jimenez. and his first 1-2-3 inning. Off we go to the fourth. It'll be Helton, Tulowitzki, and Hop. No score, top of the fourth inning. Can't say that's a shock, Frage.
Not with these two guys on the hill. Colorado with that lone hit. Area Ewing got a base hit right back up the middle.
And the Giants have 2 hits. Well, the Giants have left 5 on. Helton grounded to second his first time. He will lead it off against Lincecum.
And when you match up with a guy like Jimenez, I think Lincecum probably has learned to accept what he goes up against 90% of the time when he won over 20 games a year ago. And he knows how all of his games are going to be top-notch type games. It's going to be 3-2, 4-3. Not many blowouts when he's on the mound.
Here's the 1-1 to Todd. And that's a strike. Dropped the curveball in. 1-2. The Giants are bare at AT&T Park. They're 41-21. It's the best home mark in the National League. Full house tonight. And this is a base hit to center field. So Helton behind on the count, pulled his hands in and lifted one to left center field for a knock. Leadoff runner on for the second time in the ball game. Let's check in with Lana Rizzo. Lana?
All right, thanks very much. Your time now for our Aflac trivia question. But before that, I wanted to introduce you guys to a couple of Rockies fans, rare here at AT&T Park. This is Lucas and Marcio. They moved here 10 days ago from Golden. Big Rockies fans cheering on the Rocks today. Okay, time for the Aflac trivia question. There are 4 pitchers to win the Cy Young Award in their first full Major League Baseball season. Who are those 4, guys?
That's a good question, Alana. That's probably why you're asking it. We'll have to think about that. 0-1 on Tulowitzki. Troy walked in the second inning. That's a strike also. Joe Martinez started that ball game yesterday for the Giants. After losing 11-0, he was sent down to Fresno. And Alex Hinshaw, who has a great arm, he's a left-handed pitcher. The Rockies saw him last year, and he spent most of this year in Fresno. He was called up, so now it's Affeld and Hinshaw on the left side. Bouncing ball deep short. There's one, and on to first, safe.
Well, watching Renteria throw this ball, he knew he's bearing down on a second baseman in a rebase, so he want to make sure he give him a very good feed. Tulowitzki busted it up the line, trying to keep this thing with a man on base and 1 out. I mean, this turns into 2 outs. A double play happens pretty quick. High hopper, going to backhand it, and then a strong throw over to Uribe. Now, normally a guy that pretty close play at first base, wasn't it? But a guy that turns the double play, who played shortstop, a very strong arm.
Helton never got down.
Trying to make it prevent, do exactly what you want to do, block and take the vision, take the hit.
The 1-0's in there, 1-1. We have to show you the right center field gap here at AT&T Park, lest you forget. It's 421. And it's triples alley out there. If you hit one, I don't care how you run. Unless you're Benji Molina, it's a triple. And it may be for Benji. There goes the runner. The throw to second is in time again. Tulowitzki cut down by Whiteside on a throw that was about 8-10 feet to the right of second base.
Credit Renteria for the catch and tag on this because he took it deep enough. In other words, close to the bag in order to apply this tag because of the late run on this baseball. It's going to tail. He's going to catch it. When he caught it, he applied it to the backside of Tulowitzki before he got there. It's a good call. He is out. Second time he's throwing him out in the ball game.
And And down the right field line it goes. Brad Hopp hits one into the corner. And Randy Wynn extracts it from there. So a 2-out double. And I know what you're saying at home, man, oh man, I wish Tulowitzki was still on. But you have to be aggressive against a guy like Lincecum. You just don't get many opportunities.
If you could foresee the future as a manager, when guys are going to hit doubles and do things, you could manage the game a lot better.
Well, I think managing of all the sports is the all-time position to be second-guessed. Iannetta hits it in the air to right. Randy Wynn makes the catch. The Rockies get a couple of hits in the inning. Still scoreless, middle of fourth.
Welcome back to AT&T Park, everybody. Bottom of the fourth. Still no score here between the Giants and the hometown Rockies for this guy anyway. He is from Denver. This is Rob. Wanted to cheer on his Rockies here at AT&T Park. Now time to answer the Aflac trivia question, Rob. Okay, the question was, who are the 4 pitchers to win the Cy Young Award in their first full Major League Baseball season? I'll give you one hint. One guy is in the park tonight.
Aflac! I didn't hear the question, Alana. I'm sorry.
That's all right. First, there's 4 pitchers to win the Cy Young Award in their first full MLB season.
I don't know. Sorry.
All right, Tim Lincecum, guys, obviously. Dwight Gooden and Brett Saberhagen did it in the same year, 1985, and Fernando Valenzuela did it with the Dodgers in 1981, guys.
Well, what just happened can happen. George, explain what went on there, because that's one of those pop-ups that's hard for a catcher. The pitcher, you always don't involve. Who's got to make this play?
Well, you got to come in and one of their first or third. The trouble is, it's the first early in the at-bat. Nobody's looking around at it. Ubaldo, nobody called the baseball. Difficult for Iannetta. You got a crowd, so nobody's hearing who's got it. And as a pitcher, you come running in, and you've got all of a sudden be the field general. You've got to know somebody that's going to take the baseball. You saw what Ubaldo did. He started to go to it, backed away because he thought that Stewart was coming to the baseball. The problem with that play, it's happened so early in the at-bat with the first hitter up that everybody's playing deep. Long ways to run, but it's got to be caught.
It's got to be caught.
Also, you really got to help your catcher out in that situation as a pitcher.
He had no shot. Chris Iannetta hadn't turned around. I mean,
and it was hit pretty high in the air. The point is that you got to find the ball and help him. Point at the baseball or come make the play yourself. But a lot of times at the big league level, they just do not want a pitcher making a play on it because they're going to get ran over more times than not by a position player.
One heck of a break for the Giants. Should have been 1 pitch, 1 out. Instead, Uribe is standing at second base, and the only way you could score that is a double.
How many times you could say double on an 8-foot ball out in front of fair territory?
Well, it just makes you sick because, again, 1 run could be the ball game tonight. This is a bloop to right. Uribe waited, so he won't score. Now you have first and third, nobody out. I know Stewart's back on that, going back to that pop-up, but the ball was so high, he got in the neighborhood. And you eliminate the pitcher, and you try to eliminate a catcher. George, as you know, on balls up.
Yeah, this ball's hit very high up into the air. And again, Stewart's very deep behind. You also have Helton playing very deep. Neither one of them are up on display. But again, as a pitcher, from my perspective, of what I did was try to find the ball for the catcher and let him know the location. Up, fair, foul, where it is. Iannetta found the ball. I mean, he sees the baseball, but because of the backspin on this ball and I started to come forward, Stewart was right there next to it. The ball's 5 feet in front of home plate. I thought Chris found the baseball. He just didn't recognize where the ball was going to go with that much spin on it. And again, Stewart came in, and then he stopped because he thought Iannetta was going to make a play on the ball. Confusion as a pitcher, you've got to be the field general and yell who's got it and allow everybody to back off from that.
Well, Ubaldo's got Whiteside at the plate, who punched a single through the right side. Rockies playing for 2 up the middle.
See, and I think against somebody like Ubaldo, this is where you do put people in motion. Only because I say that with Lincecum in the on-deck circle. You know, you just want to try. I mean, if he gets a punch out, obviously double play. I mean, a lot of things happen here. Whiteside's a guy that can handle the bat. Lincecum, I know he's a good hitter, good athlete, but still an everyday player at the plate swinging is a little bit better than the other guy.
Now, this is where you have a chance to get out of this because of where you are in the order and Jimenez's ability to get the strikeout. 1-1. But now in 3 of the first 4 innings, showing the graphic of Ubaldo continually working late into games. But one of the things that managers keep in the back of their mind is high-stress innings, high-stress pitches. You throw 100 pitches stress-free, most of them. You can throw 100 where, man, you were battling for 75 of them because of traffic. Well, 3 out of 4 innings now, Ubaldo's really had to bear down, despite the fact that there are a couple of zeros on the scoreboard. Tracy in a reflective mode or mood right now in the dugout.
His mind's turning all about this inning right now, but also as the lineup starts to flip and turn.
We may get a break here if this stays in play. It does not. It lands on top of the Rockies dugout. Well, now you're ahead 1-2. Whiteside has 30 at-bats this year in the big leagues. Two and 2. You can add those to the 12 he got in 2005 with Baltimore. And he's standing at the plate for the 44th time in his big league career. Comebacker, and the throw to second, and that's all they'll get.
Smart play.
But smart play. They checked the runner. You rarely see that, George, but you saw 2 different fielders check the runner at third.
Well, and the reason behind that is because Uribe faked as if he was going to go, okay, throw to second. That delayed the throw to second base. Then he fakes again, so that prevents Tulowitzki from being able to make the completion of the double play. See, checks here. As Uribe comes down, you see Stewart away from it. Then the throw goes to second. He thinks about it again to draw Tulowitzki's attention. That kept a first and third situation and 1 out, so a fly ball scores. Now I understand you got Lincecum at the plate, but that was heads-up base running by Juan Uribe also.
That was Bochy take the bunt off, George. Well, he had him swing it. The danger in this naturally is if he makes contact on the ground and he hits into an inning-ending double play. Lincecum checked out Tim Flannery and see if they put it on here with the count 0-1. And that was all about seeing if Lincecum would reveal what he's doing. He did not. There's a bunt attempt right out in front of the plate. Throw to second. They get the out there. Whoa, what a pickup by Tulowitzki. Ionetta's throw was in the dirt. It was a close play at second. And Tulowitzki, who needs a bath, picked it up. 2 outs. First and third. And it'll come down to Velez, who's 1 for 2 against Jimenez.
Well, this is where all the defensive skills comes out and shines whenever you've got a club on the run. He's got a fire down to second base, picked by Tulowitzki. Became a first baseman with the stretch out towards the home plate area where the ball came from Chris Iannetta. He's got to throw it on the run. Very good speed, Whiteside does, for a catcher.
Hit a little squibber out in front of the plate his last time up with runners at second and third. And he takes high ball 1. The pitch count at 59 for Jimenez. So despite all the traffic, George, he's really on line with where you'd like him to be.
15 pitches an inning, perfect spot for Jimenez to be in.
And it's 1-1.
But when you're working like Jimenez does, it's the ability, and you think back a couple of years ago, he may have crashed after that ball hit, and all of a sudden walked a couple of guys, got himself in trouble, maybe a wild pitch. But the confidence he has now, particularly where he was in the order, to get out of this inning, punch him out, and end up giving nothing up after a miscue defensively at the start of the inning.
And this is right out to Jimenez. He goes sidearm to Helton. So a fluke double in front of the plate, a single behind it, and Jimenez shuts the door. Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Now with Hyundai Assurance, buy any new Hyundai and get a whole year's worth of gas for $1.49 per gallon. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Dex, take the sport out of finding local information with Dex and print online at dexknows.com. With George Frazier and Alana Rizzo, I'm Drew Goodman. No score. Ubaldo Jimenez, Tim Lincecum. We move on to the 5th inning. For the Rockies, it'll be Ian Stewart, Clint Barmas, and Ubaldo Jimenez. The Rockies have 3 hits. The Giants have 4 hits. One of them was a gift, a pop-up literally right in front of the plate that was not handled and fortunately didn't cost the Rockies a run. And the breaking ball to Stewart is in the dirt, ball 1. Stewart struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. 4 strikeouts for Lincecum. He struck out 4 in the first 2, none since then. 2-0. That's in there, 2-1. Three and 1. Stewart is 2 for 16 against Lincecum. He's not alone. And make it 3 for 17. He hits a bullet to center field. George, that's, oh, you know what? Oh, for a second there, I thought he was going to try to go to second. I mean, he flew around the bag and got halfway to second. And then Rowan picked up the tempo in center field. Watch this.
Well, big wide turn, trying to force a throw, getting aggressive on the base pass.
Well, George, that's 3 innings now that the Rockies have had the leadoff man on. And now Clint Barmas at the plate. He had a little comeback for his first time. And this is a pop-up to shallow center field. That'll bring up Jimenez. He hit it sharply, but right at the first baseman Ishikawa's first time. He'll be trying to bunt here. The Angels, George, have picked up Scott Kazmir from Tampa.
What?
Which is a great pickup for the Angels. And I guess it announces that Tampa, who won an American League pennant last year, is thinking about 2010.
Must be. I know that the Angels had interest in acquiring Brad Penny as a 5th starter, but if they picked up Kazmir, that interest will dwindle now.
Left-handed pitcher Alex Torres from the Angels, an infielder Matt Sweeney, and another player to be named. That's a strike. 0-1. Let's take a look at our Quest high-speed pitch of the night. Ubaldo's hit 99, Lincecum 95, brought to you by Quest high-speed internet. The Angels' rotation ERA, used to be one of their strengths, is close to 5, which is 24th out of 30 teams in baseball. And Ubaldo pulled it back. I just have enjoyed the development of this kid. And you've heard George and I and Jeff talk about what a wonderful young man he is, just a pleasure to be around, and how hard he works. But it's the little things, George. But you know what? His bunt game much better than it was when he came up. He handles the bat better. Everything he does, he's worked on. He takes great pride in.
Think about it. What's the one thing he had to do to get here to stay in the big leagues? Pitch, throw strikes, learn to do that part of the game first. Then all of a sudden, all right, I'm comfortable doing that. Now I will sit here and I'll try to straighten up the thing of swinging the bat. He's done that. You know, next thing I'm doing, I'm going to need to figure out how to bunt. He's done that. So he's quickly evolved into what you thought he would be when you first brought him up. His arm got him to the big leagues. And his arm's going to keep him here a long time.
The Rockies took the bunt off there. I'm guessing they put it back on here. And he got it down. He got it down under pressure, because if he doesn't get it down there, he's going to the dugout. So now the Rockies will have an opportunity to take a lead. Runner at second with Eric Young coming up.
If you are not already a season ticket holder, the best way to guarantee your opportunity to purchase 2009 postseason tickets are to make a 2010 season ticket deposit or purchase the Stretch Run ticket package. That's really a great way to do it. The Stretch Run package has all the remaining games this season at discounted prices. Now you got to hurry up because it's over August 31st. 303 Rockies, or go online to ColoradoRockies.com. Eric Young Jr. took a line drive right back up the middle on a fastball. He gets a curveball to start out his at-bat here. A lot of clubs are going to test you hard in. A couple of different scouts tell me that Eric Young, they feel they could go in under that lead elbow with the bat so high, but yet he's done a nice job of laying off that pitch, get a pitch away from him and owned it. Strikeout in the first inning was after 2 breaking balls and a fastball up out of the strike zone.
He got him on 3 breaking balls here. So the Rockies get a runner to second base in Stewart. Lincecum puts his foot down. Mid-5, no score. No score. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Eric Young Jr. breaking into the big leagues, and not a great week to do it with the pitching matchups or the pitchers the Rockies have opposed this week. I mean, he has faced a heavy-duty lineup in his first few days in the big leagues. 1 for 3 tonight against Tim Lincecum. First pitch of the inning, a strike to Edgar Renteria. He'll be followed by Randy Wynn and Pablo Sandoval. It's 0-2. Cubs beat up the Mets tonight. Dodgers lost again. San Diego over Florida. That's a good thing. St. Louis got a walk-off home run, George, from a fellow by the name of Albert Pujols tonight.
Pretty good player.
I think he has a chance to stick around. Yankees got a walk-off home run from Robinson Cano in the 10th.
How about this? The Giants are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position through 4 innings. That includes a 1-2-3 inning. They've had some chances. Ubaldo with 7 ground ball outs.
3-2 all of a sudden on Renteria, and now it is
See you later.
3-3, which means you turn and go back to the dugout.
No, you just go grab some pine, sit down, and wait for your next time. That's all. Good dead red fastball, down and in. A little late tail to it, sink. Got it right by him. Ubaldo right now, just pretty good command of that fastball.
Randy Wynn had a sac bunt his first time up, and then hit a little comebacker. I always believe, George, when you look down, you see 3-4 comebackers, you know you have pretty good stuff. And not the bullet type. I mean, the little weak comebacker. And the pitch count is very good despite all the traffic for Ubaldo as he works here in the 5th inning.
Well, it's much better. Remember, though, you had the intentional walk of 4 pitches, too. So that makes a little bit of a difference. 40 and 24 that actual pitches thrown.
Yeah, and if you're wondering in the dugout or the pitching coach who's and the next day starter who's charting pitches, if a manager asks, hey, how many pitches do you have, they don't count the 4 wide ones.
You know, there's a lot of pitching coaches. This is what you got to factor into it. On the flat ground work, warming up long toss, they'll throw 25 to 30 pitches. Come in and throw 8 or 10, maybe sometimes 20, snap it off curveballs, sliders on the flat ground before he goes to the mound, and it'll be another 30-40 there. But what you look for and count during a ball game is the 8 warm-up pitches. But that's another 64 pitches. You forget about those. You think he's just soft tossing. They're not just soft tossing.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Randy Wynn. See you later. He just overwhelmed him with that fastball.
Hard heat. As Wynn stands on top of the plate, and you start that fastball about belt high and then let it ride up and out over the plate in the strike zone area, difficult to catch up to it.
Well, the crowd alive with Pablo Sandoval stepping up. He leads the club in every meaningful offensive category. And then he takes a home run hack at a 97-mile-an-hour tailing fastball. Kung Fu Panda spreading the. That can't feel good tonight because it's warm here tonight. Now most nights in San Francisco, you know, if you wear that out of the stick right now, Candlestick Point, as you know, George, that would be appropriate. It's probably it's probably 40 degrees cooler out there.
Very, very chilly out on the point. Always has been. And before they closed the right field bleachers, it was really cold. Guys walking around their ballpark at tank tops on.
Anybody wear long
short sleeves?
Anybody wear long johns, George, when they were playing
Absolutely.
out there?
It's the only place I wore a parka in the middle of July.
Here's the 1-2 on Sandoval. And he hits it to deep left field, way back. It's gone.
Hey, this kid is surprising. His power, his street bat speed on a pitch down and away from him. Wow. I mean, it's just, this kid has surpassed any expectation. And again, now you know why Jim Tracy walked him with second and third a minute ago in order to load up the bases versus letting this one powerful bat in this lineup tonight swing it. Curveball down and away. With the curveball, folks, it's also going to tell you that he supplied the power behind the ball that is driven out to the opposite field. Strong, strong kid.
1-0 San Francisco. Ishikawa takes inside.
One thing I will say about this ball game is it being 1-0, Lincecum obviously works a lot of times deep into ball games. But I'll take the Rockies bullpen over the Giant bullpen right now, the way it matches up. Yeah, if you can get to Affel Walker, okay. But you know what? You get in that 6th, 7th inning, you got a chance to do some damage there.
Yeah, you really got the feeling Sandoval, the one guy who can hurt you. And Ubaldo got ahead of him. Give Sandoval credit. He hit it out the other way. His 20th home run of the year, 74th RBI. Juan Uribe at the plate. He's the one who hit the pop-up 100 feet into the air that landed right in front of home plate that nobody caught.
How about this stat? You know, this surprises me, but it's the first homegrown Giant to have 20 home runs since Will Clark.
Really?
Yeah. How about Tracy Ringolsby? He's taking care of us here in the booth in this series in San Francisco. He just gave me the note. First homegrown Giant with 20 home runs since Will Clark.
They haven't had a lot of big bats. Barry Bonds, obviously, but he came from Pittsburgh. Jeff Kent, who they're putting his jersey in their Wall of Fame this week. This is popped up in foul ground, but Kent obviously wasn't homegrown. That's another one. Why? That's another one. What's going on?
Is there a lot of seagulls or something up there? Are you not picking the ball up? I'm being facetious, obviously. See where this is. Starting to look over. You got to get your distance exactly where you are, but neither guy got to the baseball right by the on-deck circle in front of the dugout.
Two balls and a strike on Uribe. He keeps hitting pop-ups and nobody's catching him. Bar missile flipped to Tulowitzki. There is a score in the game now. Pablo Sandoval has hit a home run. A solo shot to the opposite field. And the Giants have a 1-0 lead as we move to the 6th. Nothing on the Pablo Sandoval home run. Top of the 6th, the Rockies will have Seth Smith, Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki. It'll be their third look at Tim Lincecum. Lincecum 7-1 at home with a 1.98 ERA. He has not fed Smith too many fastballs. Last night, Smith made the final out of the ballgame against Jonathan Broxton. And word getting around, George, they didn't feed him any fastballs. Broxton has one of the best fastballs in the game, and he struck him out with 3 sliders.
At 91, 92, and 91 miles an hour.
And again, off speed.
Everything away and everything down. All us trying to put a wrinkle in the baseball.
Tried to paint, missed. 2-2. Nice catch in the stands. Rockies have played 66 road games, tied for the most in baseball. But they've been a very good road team. Rockies at 36-30 away from home. 39 wins, the most they've ever had in a season on the road. That came in 2007. I think it's safe to say, George, if the Rockies want to get to the postseason, and they're in great shape for that, they need to finish above 500 on the road.
Any team that plays 500 or better on the road and able to win ball games the way they do at home typically are going to finish very high in the division or win the division. It's been that way in baseball for a long, long time.
3-2. Pretty good at bat being put together here by Smith. The pitch count for Lincecum is 83 as he works here with nobody out in the 6th. And that's a foul ball. The Rockies 54-28 under Jim Tracy. It's a 10-pitch at bat. That's a Helton swing, and that's a great job, George, on a dirty pitch.
3-2 count, not going to let the punch out happen. Try to make the contact just to keep things alive to get something you can hit. Verbally, you don't have to sit around and listen to Todd Helton, just watch his swing.
He stayed on that, and he almost had it down the right field line. So it will be a 13-pitch at bat at least. And Jim Tracy's got to be smiling. He's just taking some bullets away from Tim Lincecum, though it's not unusual for Bruce Bochy to let him stay out there for 120. He threw 122 on Sunday against the Rockies. Strike 3 on the inside corner.
Well, I tell you what, and Marty Foster not happy. Anytime you point the bat down at the line and see where it is, was it inside, outside. Sitting way inside on that kneecap, trying to throw the fastball inside. And right at the very end of this, after the call third strike, see if we can keep it rolling here and catch the number. It's pretty difficult. He points down at the ground. That's a tough pitch to hit. I don't care who you are. Well, Todd Helton coming to the plate, top 5 averages against Tim Lincecum, minimum of 10 plate appearances. Carlos Beltran of the Mets, 571. Chris Iannetta, 545. Helton and Pierre, both over 500 to go along with him.
Todd had a single his last time up on a 1-2 pitch. He served it to center field. See the reaction of Seth Smith.
So he'd like take the bat and just point, kind of draw a little line. That's something. He caught himself, knew better. Colorado Springs lost to Salt Lake 5-1 tonight. Russ Ortiz, a veteran pitcher at the big league level, 6 innings, 5 runs. Giambi 2 for 4 in the ballgame.
Giambi was 0 for 2, a couple of walks yesterday. He had 2 hits and an RBI in his first ball game. So 4 knocks and 3 ball games for Giambi. Ball 4 on Helton. So a 13-pitch at bat by Smith, and then a walk to Helton. And it's not inconceivable, George, for Lincecum, no matter what happens in the 6th inning, to head to the dugout over 100 pitches.
Absolutely, over 100 pitches, and he will push it. He was at 121 in the start against the Rockies, forced Bruce Bochy into making the move into his bullpen, which the Rockies, we showed you that graphic earlier, runs scored in a 4-game series in Denver.
Now, the Rockies have really had problems scoring runs. Basically, period, but especially in the first 5-6 innings. They had the big inning in the 6th inning in that 14-run game when they scored 7. Then he came back the next inning and scored 4. But it's not like they've really erupted offensively. They had the 14th inning also. But I'm talking about in regulation,
right
before
here
you go to extra innings.
You look at that 4-game stretch against the Giants in that series in Denver. Look at the first 5 innings, only 5 runs scored. And from the 6th and beyond, they really got after the bullpen of the Giants, scoring 22 runs.
Well, you can include tonight because the Rockies are hitting here in the 6th. So in 5 ball games against the Giants in the first 5 innings, the Rockies have just 5 runs, 0-2 on Tulowitzki. That gets away, and Helton will move to scoring position. That was large. It's a wild pitch on Lincecum.
trying to throw this fastball, or excuse me, curveball down and away on the outside part of the plate instead of blocking the ball. Whiteside tried to backhand it, and when it cut short of the glove, it hits off the heel of the glove and spun away from it.
No Nate Shearholtz in right field tonight. It's Randy Wynn. I point that out because the arms are all somewhat average out there, trying to throw a guy out. Sandoval makes a good play. And now Helton to third. And he'll still take a hit or maybe a wild pitch. Brad Hopp coming up. Brad doubled in the 4th inning.
At a 6th inning, the best inning for the Rockies to score runs this year. They've outscored the opposition 96-42.
You don't like to put on the potential go-ahead run and go right on right, especially when the guy behind Hopp has had a lot of success against you. Chris Iannetta 6 for 11. Hopp a strikeout and a double.
Boy, that hook's filthy. I know Bochy's thinking if I can just sneak him through to the 7th, but that was the 99th pitch of the ball game. And then he could end up going to Affelt in the 8th and then Wilson in the 9th. A nasty curveball. As a catcher, I know Bochy, a former catcher, he'd like to see Whiteside maybe scoot up a little bit on him.
Two balls and a strike.
Not similar to a pitch he called Smith out on strikes because it stayed pretty straight to the inside part of it. That had some late tail and a late sink. It got it out of the strike zone.
Brad saw that pitch, George, pretty well and still could square it up. 2-2. One of the great things about Tim Lincecum, one of the keys to his success, any pitch in any count.
Well, any pitch in any count, and it looks the same coming out of the hand because of the arm speed.
2-2. Got him on 3 breaking balls. The Rockies leave Helton at third. It is 1-0 San Francisco, middle of 6. This date in history brought to you by Dex. Dex knows, the first ever regular season pairing of reigning Cy Young Award winners back in 1989. Frank Viola of the Mets beats Orel Hershiser and the Dodgers 1-0. Viola throws a 3-hit complete game shutout. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 5. Frankie V, an old teammate of yours.
Yeah, he was. Pretty good pitcher, huh?
Left-hander from New York.
Yeah. Well, Ubaldo Jimenez from the Dominican Republic doing a pretty good job here. Trailing 1-0 early in the ball game. He plucked Aaron Rowan right into the shoulder. See what that does, because the guy hits throwing 98 miles an hour. I mean, it didn't do much, did it? Stayed right on that fastball, drove it out to right center. Caught by Brad Hopp.
Eli Whiteside out of the 8-hole will be next. The Rockies next inning, George, will have Iannetta, Stewart, Barmes. If anybody gets on, Jimenez comes up. And the last thing that Jim Tracy wants to do is take Ubaldo out of the ball game. I think it may be one of those situations, depending on who's on and where it is. You may see Ubaldo still hit.
You're going to see Lincecum pop up out of the dugout. 5 of his last 6 starts, he's thrown 115 or more pitches. He's thrown over 120 in 2 of his last 3. One of those against the Rockies, the other was against the Dodgers.
2-0 on Whiteside. 1 for 2, 3-0. Stepped way off the gas and hit the strike zone at 91. And he walked him. Windshield damage, call Elite Safelite Auto Glass 303-287-5000 online at safelite.com. Lincecum has tried to bunt twice and he grounded into or bounced into a force out twice. This time he gets the job done. Eugenio Velez. Bob Apodaca discussing the situation. 2 outs, 1-0 Giants on a Pablo Sandoval home run. Rockies are 19 games under 500 at AT&T Park. Though the last couple of years they've played much better here. They are 12-9. There's their all-time mark, 233 average. You don't hit many home runs here. Nobody does. So Jimenez against Velez, and the pitch misses, ball 1. That was the 90th pitch for Jimenez. The other pitching matchups, George, in this series, the Giants have their top 3. Tomorrow it's Marquis and Zito, and then Hamill and Matt Cain on Sunday. The Rockies didn't see Cain in the 4-game set at Coors Field. And that is a base hit. Here comes Hop. Coming to the plate is Whiteside. He's going to score. It is 2-0 San Francisco. Velez coming through against Jimenez.
Just the 17 RBI of the season for Velez on a ball hit to the right side. I didn't think it was hit particularly hard. That's what didn't allow Hop to have a play. Off the end of the bat, shot to the right side, and just out of the reach of Todd Helton. See how slowed down on the flight. Hop's got to charge it. And when he has to do that, it allows the base runner to come around to score on Whiteside. Helton cut the ball off, thought he might have a play. A diving Velez at first base did not.
And now down 2 runs. Again, depending on the offensive situation, that may force Jim Tracy's hand. We showed you the graphic earlier of Jimenez going 6 innings and 22 straight. Lately, it's not just 6 innings. He's had 4 out of 5 where he's gone 8 innings.
Well, you want to look at it really up close and personal fastball from Ubaldo Jimenez at 95+ miles an hour. Here's your opportunity. Whoa! Second time he's come up and in. He caught Aaron Rowan earlier in the ball game.
Velez is going to be looking to run here. in the inning. There was a walk, sac bunt by Lincecum, and Velez knocks in the Giants' second run. Tonight's legendary performance play brought to you by Cabot Woodstain. Seth Smith against Lincecum, 3 for 10, but he has a couple of home runs. That very notable home run turned a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 advantage. Rockies would go on to win that ball game on Sunday 4-2. Well, the Rockies trailed 2-0 against Tim Lincecum and the Giants here in the 7th. Chris Iannetta is 0 for 1 and a walk.
Beimel and Daly up throwing down in the Rockies bullpen with Ubaldo Jimenez due up 4th.
Two runs, 7 hits San Francisco, no runs, 4 hits Colorado. That was a hanging hook, but Iannetta got underneath it. Aaron Rowan catches it, 1 out. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
Thanks very much, Drew. You were referencing earlier had the difficulty the Rockies have had scoring early on in the ball game. You were mentioning, in the first 5 innings, just 5 runs, and then 6 through 9, they were able to score 22 runs in the series with the Giants before tonight's game. Only 4 hits here tonight. I talked to Clint Barmas about that. He said, what, it has been so bizarre. It's not only that we can't get the offense going, it seems like we can't get out of the first inning without giving up a run or two, so we're constantly playing catch-up. I talked to Jim Tracy about it as well, and he said, what, I'm going to attribute it to just running into really good pitchers. Well, certainly the Rockies are seeing good pitchers tonight. In Lincecum, they're going to see Zito and Kane as well, guys.
All right, Alana, thanks very much for our great Colorado Payback Sideline report. Hey, listen, when you play in the NL West, guess what? You're typically going to see a really good arm. That's been the story the last 4, 5, 6 years. That's why, even back beyond that, that's why 8 of the last 10 Cy Young winners have come out of the NL West. Stewart breaks his bat. Matt Cain gets the baseball on Sunday. Stewart earlier this year, first part of June, the National League Player of the Week. They needed him to get hot again. Strike 3. Won't come in that at bat. Clint Barmas coming up with 2 outs. He talked about facing Tim Lincecum.
It's been fun this last week. The games have been great. They've been close, and they all mean a lot. And nothing changes coming in here, and they're going to be ready for us. They're going to be expecting us to come in, and I don't see it being any different than the series it was at home. And Lincecum's a great pitcher, and Ubaldo's going to be good tonight. Hopefully we can find a way to score a couple of runs and hold them down.
1-2-3 inning for Lincecum. He has struck out 8 in the ball game. Stretch time in San Francisco. The Giants lead it 2-0. Giants have a Sandoval home run, and then last inning they carved out a run against Ubaldo Jimenez. Ubaldo and Tim Lincecum hooking up as Randy Wynn fouled off the first pitch in the bottom of the 7th. Wynn is 0 for 2 and a sac bunt. Ubaldo has matched up with Lincecum 4 times. He is 2-0 personally. The Rockies are 3-0 when it's Lincecum and Jimenez. But that streak in jeopardy as the Rockies have 6 outs left offensively. Ground ball. What a play by Helton. And he has Jimenez. And Ubaldo's going to go over and help him up. That's a sensational play by Todd.
You talk about, and again, it's a one-step dive. You're in the 7th inning, going to let the ball get by you. But it's what the ball did, the bad hop, and his hand-eye coordination to catch that baseball. Man, oh man, that's why he's got gold gloves, folks. He's the best at the quickness of this glove. Look at that high hop, boom, jumped up, able to snag it from the backside, the perfect throw. A strike to Jimenez. Wow, that is fun. Fun to watch.
This will be the last inning, obviously, for Jimenez. He's scheduled to lead off next inning. Sandoval 1 for 2 and an intentional walk. The one was a home run on a 1-2 slider.
Same two guys warming up in the bullpen, Beimel and Daly, and in preparation, if they need to come get him out of this inning, they can do it.
Up left side, Stewart.
Well, purchase a green pack and help out the environment while enjoying a day at the ballpark. You get 2 tickets for $20. That's right, 20 bucks. $5 of each pack sold goes to our Wood for Wood tree planting program. Available during the September Green Week, which is September the 1st through the 7th. Go to ColoradoRockies.com and purchase your green pack ticket today.
Two outs, Travis Ishikawa at the plate. He takes a strike. So the Rockies will go to their bench next inning and then have the top of the order. Easy play for Barmes. 7 innings, you allow 2 runs if you're Ubaldo Jimenez. That's another real strong performance. Top of the 8th inning, Ryan Spilborgh's hitting in the 9-hole for Ubaldo Jimenez. Then it'll be Eric Young. So Spilborgh's against Lincecum with the Rockies trailing 2-0. The Rockies yesterday lost a 3-2 ball game to the Dodgers. They went 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Tonight they've had some opportunities, and this is on the line, the left, and Velez comes on and makes a catch. One of the better struck balls of the night by the Rockies, but it's still an out. Time for the Coors Light freeze cam. Earlier on a bunt attempt by Lincecum, the Rockies' Chris Iannetta would get the force at second. Nice pickup by Troy Tulowitzki in the dirt. Our Coors Light, Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze cam. At a 39,047 at AT&T Park tonight. Little EY, a strikeout, a single, and a strikeout.
Jeremy Affeldt, the left-hander, warming up, the former Rocky down the line with Seth Smith in the on-deck circle. So if EY gets on, it's an absolute positive, but with a 2-run ball game and nobody on base, and they may go ahead and let Lincecum try to finish the 8th.
And of course you have Helton behind Smith. And Bochy looking at that lineup. You have Smith, Helton, Tulo from the right side, then Hop, another lefty.
119 pitches in the ball game. The tops this year for Lincecum, 123 on April the 24th versus the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Did he get him? No swing. I thought for a moment Marty Foster was going to punch him out. Fortunately, he did not. It's 3-2. some guys that go underhand. There's some guys that lob. Jimenez goes sidearm. Lincecum comes over the top and throws it about 95.
Well, what's the one thing you're used to as a pitcher? You're used to throwing the ball hard with arm speed, and where you start to mess up was when you flip it.
Time for our Geico quote of the day. Cap Anson on Cy Young. He's too green to do your club much good, but I believe if I taught him what I know, I might make a pitcher out of him in a couple of years. He's not worth it now, but I'm willing to give you $1,000 for him. Pretty good investment. One 1-0 on Smith. 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. 8 strikeouts in the game for Lincecum. Rockies in the wild card, 3 games up on the San Francisco Giants, and 3.5 behind the Dodgers in the division after the Dodgers lost 4-2 tonight in Cincinnati. Rockies in the midst of a 3-week stretch in which they'll play only 3 road games. You're looking at them right here in San Francisco.
Nothing lead. The crowd in San Francisco, they've done this many times for Lincecum. That 2-strike count with 2 outs on their feet cheering.
Yeah, they used to do it for Jason Schmidt.
It all started back in the early 80s with Ron Guidry at the stadium in New York. Carried over to Dwight Gooden when he came with the Mets.
Here's the 3-2, and it's sharply hit, but it's picked up by the second baseman, Uribe. 1-2-3, 8th inning for Lincecum. He has retired 8 in a row. It's 2-0 San Francisco. Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Now with Hyundai Assurance, buy any new Hyundai and get a whole year's worth of gas for $1.49 per gallon. By the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. And by Bird Auto, to find great deals on used cars, visit ColoradoWheelsOnline.com or pick up a magazine at over 200 locations. Matt Daly's on in the 8th inning. Juan Uribe swings and misses. There's Brian Wilson, or there will be Brian Wilson. We'll show you him in a moment. Warming up. Right center field, and this is in Triple's alley. Hop and Young, and Uribe is going to end up at third.
You mentioned it back in about the 5th inning about this deep right center field gap that they have here. But you get it out and get it beyond the right fielder. Hop's trying to play it off the screen. Young calls for it. The weaker of the 2 arms picks the ball up and then just kind of airmails it. Wouldn't have had a shot at Uribe either way at third base.
That's a ball that You know, again, George, out in the outfield, you're just trying to get it in quickly, but you'd rather have Brad throw that baseball.
Well, there's no question about that. Brad has one of the strongest arms in baseball. And EY called for it, called him off of it, played it, and then turned and made the throw.
And Rowan gets fisted. Got to get the out. And Matt almost forgot about that. One out. Uribe still at third. Time to get you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Drew Goodman, along with George Frazier, Alana Rizzo from AT&T Park. Bottom of the 8th inning, 2-0 San Francisco. Infield halfway. Eli Whiteside at the plate, and he takes ball one. Uribe at third base, a leadoff triple.
Freddie Lewis in the on-deck circle to hit for Lincecum.
Here's the squeeze. It's bunted in the air. There's one. There's two. And the Rockies dodge a major bullet in the bottom of the 8th inning. And they'll try to rally in the 9th against Brian Wilson. Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. By Big Brothers Big Sisters, donate your car and you'll get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. By the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. And by Mike Shaw Chevy Saab, Colorado's crossover and SUV headquarters for 50 years. Visit MikeShawAuto.com. Giants lead at 2-0. The Rockies will have Helton, Tulowitzki, and Hopp trying to rally against Brian Wilson. Quick reminder coming up is Tom Helmer in the postgame report. Tom?
Yeah, well, the Rockies can't drive 55. They couldn't get anything off Tim Lincecum tonight. We'll talk about that. Also, Panda Express, Pablo Sandoval with a big home run in this game. And, of course, we'll get you down to the clubhouse and hear from the Rockies after the ball game. Drew?
All right, Tom. Helton takes ball one. Now, Brian Wilson, George, remember the ball game that went 14 innings? He went 2 2/3 and threw 41 pitches in that ball game. The next day, he was called upon to close a ball game against Arizona. He got just 2 outs, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits, walked 2. And you wonder, when you ask your closer to go way beyond what he's normally doing, if it will have a long-term effect here late in the season.
5 times he's gone more than 1 inning out of those 55 games he's appeared, 60 innings pitched. The game Drew's talking about, he threw 44 pitches at that game in Denver, then turned right around the next day and threw another 42 or 3 pitches. Helton 2 for 5 in his career versus Wilson.
And he fouls it off, 2-2. With Daly being able to work out of the leadoff triple situation in the bottom of the 8th, it just gives you a little bit more hope, as opposed to a 3-run deficit, just a 2-run deficit. 3-2. This call to the bullpen, by the way, brought to you by Comcast. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Base hit for Todd Helton. That'll bring up the tying run in Troy Tulowitzki, leading the Rockies with 23 home runs. If your windshield's chipped, don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. Tulowitzki is 0 for 2 and a walk in the game. Got an 8-game hitting streak. Rockies Getting Houston Street up. Or is that Betancourt, George?
Betancourt and Street's now going down to join him. Betancourt if it's tied, Street if they're go ahead in a safe situation. Betancourt would go in with a score tie. Missed the location, but got part of the plate on the outside corner.
So Wilson gave up 2 runs in his last outing. He was very good against the Rockies in 2 2/3, but with 40-plus pitches, we're wondering about the wear and tear. And in the previous ball game against the Rockies, he gave up a run on 3 hits in an inning. Tulowitzki tried to hit that out. It's 2-2. Let's put some hits together and you can get a couple of runs.
Absolutely. With Hop, you're in the heart of your lineup. The RBI guys, the guys that drive it in for the living. Just get a couple out there. Get a chance to add more pressure to them. Kind of surprised with some of the struggles Wilson has had that Affelt's not up to come in and face Brad Hop.
Wilson strikes out Tulowitzki.
Well, Tulowitzki just nicked the baseball. Misdirected slightly into the glove of Whiteside for the strikeout.
Lincecum goes 8 innings, allows 4 hits. No runs on 4 hits. Walked 3 and struck out 8. Strike 1 on Hop. Reminder, when the Rockies score 7 or more, go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get 4 tacos for $1. Helton at first. 0-2. Chris Iannetta on deck. In the air to center field and pretty deep. This is well hit, and Rowan in front of the wall. About 390 feet from home plate makes the catch. 2 outs.
Hop gave it a ride on it. Went again back into those deep alleys, 404 feet from home plate.
And now Chris Iannetta, the Rockies' last hope. Iannetta, in this pitcher's haven, has always enjoyed a good deal of success. In fact, coming into the ball game, he's hitting .404 at AT&T Park with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs in 17 games. Tonight 0 for 2 and a walk. Slider misses, 1-1. Stewart hoping for an opportunity. Moving away on the outside corner.
You talk about nasty. I mean, you know, you start to think about this, and for a guy that they feel like 55 games, 60 innings pitched, but a lot of back-to-back-to-back type use. Obviously, that heater's still there.
Giants win it 2-0. Lincecum outduels Jimenez in the rematch. Brian Wilson the save. The Rockies now have lost 3 straight. They fall to 72 and 57. And the Giants improved to 70 and 59. And they are within 2 games of the Rockies in the wild card race. The Rockies stay 4 back of the Dodgers, who lost earlier. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. 0-0 ball game. Pablo Sandoval behind in the count. Hits his 20th home run, his team leading 20th home run. He looks like Babe Ruth jogging around the bases. The Giants would add a run later on, and they'd ride the right arm of Tim Lincecum, who improves to 13-4 and 8-1 at AT&T Park, where the Giants are almost unbeatable. The final score, the Giants 2 and the Rockies 0. Stick around. The always entertaining Rockies postgame report is next with Tom Helmer.